Welcome back to Season 5 of the Changing Earth podcast with Sara F. Hathaway, blending survival fiction and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sara F. Hathaway.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 170, Season 5, Episode 7. So I hope all of you have gone out and picked up your Dark Days in Denver edition of The Changing Earth. Everything's out now. I got the audiobook done. The print copies should be up on Amazon. Everything's all set with that. And the ebooks are, of course, rolling. They were rolling on the 21st. So hope you all went out and picked up your copy. This is a really cool story that, you can always enjoy the podcast and always hear it that way, for sure. But you just want to jam through it. I mean, it's a book you can read like in a couple of days and you're all done, or listen to the audio real quick. So, it's a really cool story, and how I'm developing the story is a lot of fun. Book 6 is basically done now. I'm going through final edits. However, Book 6 ends really abruptly. So I think that I'm going to, because I'm on such a roll right now, I'm just going to finish. There is going to be a Book 7. So I'm going to just finish that one and then issue them within, say, a month of each other. I think I can swing that if I work really hard. So that's kind of my plan for Books 6 and 7. But Dark Days in Denver definitely ignited a whole new element to the story, and I can't wait to take you there later in the season. We got a little bit about me, what we're working on. We're getting ready for winter, basically. We're storing up firewood and getting all that taken care of. And I've been training jiu-jitsu like crazy, and it's still really weak, but it's getting there. So I finally got like a couple submits and things like that, and pretty cool feeling. I got my hair all cut off, and that's much nicer for jiu-jitsu as well. It doesn't get all in my face and stuff, but wrapped around my neck. So anyway, having a lot of fun with that. You all have been with me on my journey as far as, when I started, just the claustrophobia of it and the intimidation of, being that close with somebody and having to do groundwork and stuff like that really was not very appealing to me, but it's something that I pressed myself through, and I'm really glad I did. I'm starting to get a lot of skills there now, I guess. And, it's just, at least if anything, I'm feeling more comfortable. So like I can relax and calm my body down, breathe, know what is dangerous for me and what isn't dangerous for me, how I can, find ways to escape and get out of those situations. So that to me is priceless because, for females, most attacks happen from a single assailant and they want to take it to the ground as fast as possible. So, having that ground game is just essential for a woman, and it takes some, it takes some energy. I got some bruises all over the place. See my bruised up arm. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but, my legs are all bruised up, and, it's taken a lot of effort and a lot of commitment. But I'm definitely now reaping the rewards, and it's feeling really cool. So just a little bit of encouragement for you to make sure that you're getting out and taking care of your self-defense game, keeping yourself in shape. So important as we age to be able to maintain flexibility and muscle structure and stuff like that. So keep at it, and there's my word of motivation for you for today. So I want to take a moment and thank all my Patreon members. Of course, you guys got to get over there and get signed up. It just really helps me advance the business over here if I have your support. And those of you that are, I super appreciate everything that you do for the show. You're literally keeping it on the air right now. I wouldn't be able to do that. Some things are coming down the pipeline that look like it might be some fun adventures for me to go on. And so I'll talk to you more about that as that happens in the future. But for right now, the Patreon subscribers and contributors are really the ones keeping this show going. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. If you would like to become a Patreon contributor, you can head on over to www.patreon.com/changingearth. That's www.patreon.com/Changing Earth. Okay, so jumping into the Dark Days in Denver adventure. Last week, Erica, she had her moment with Bennett. Of course, we're going to have the Bennett moment because we all love Bennett. And, he's really thinking she's on fire. She's doing great. She's kind of right where she needs to be right now. So it's kind of a holding mode for Erica, which is a little odd for her. And she doesn't really know what to do with herself anymore, like in this holding mode when there's nothing to really battle or do. So she's in, hiding and she's safe. And so now she's just kind of spinning her wheels. So her life, she turns to her training. She turns to weapons maintenance and things like that. So maybe I run a little similar to my character at this point. But that's really her life. And, she's facing some family drama and stuff because of that. And also, the family's kind of looking for an opportunity to just go have a good time. So you'll love this chapter and how it rolls out. It's a lot of fun. And then James Hart is here today. He needs no introduction on my show. James has been with me since the beginning of my author career, and he's family to me absolutely at this point. So always an honor to have James on the show. Love to have the opportunities to just get the wisdom from this man because he's got a ton of it. So I love picking his brain. So he's here today. I'm going to do some brain picking, and we are talking about how to properly maintain your knives. Essential part of survival. Your knife is just everything to you. When it really comes down to it, you can do so much with a knife that it is an essential tool. So it's essential to know how to sharpen it and how to keep that baby maintained. So James is with us today to talk about that. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into Dark Days in Denver. Chapter 7. When they got to the mess hall, Erica pointed out Daniel, sitting alone with a notebook. He watched the people and vigorously sketched on the page in front of him. Erica stepped into line with the rest of her family and received a serving of poultry and dumpling soup. "Hi, Daniel," Erica greeted him as they approached the table. "Hi, Mom," Daniel replied, looking up from his work. "Wow, Danny, you're getting so good," Star commented, glancing at his drawing. Erica smiled when she looked at it. The group at the adjacent table had been turned into beautiful, crafted caricatures. They all looked like football players, digging in after a big game. She could just barely overhear the conversation at the other table. They were discussing who was the best quarterback of all time. One man was arguing fervently for Joe Montana, while another man was loyal to Terry Bradshaw. "Pretty impressive, Daniel," Erica told him. They sat down by him at the table, and Erica listened to him tell his dad about some of the drawings he was working on. All she could think of was how talented he was. If he had been born just 50 years ago, he would have had a full-ride scholarship to an art school, she mused. He could have been one of the greats. Here, in this world, where could his talent take him, she wondered. "Dexter was on watch today, and he fired 3 shots. I don't know what he was shooting at," Daniel informed them. "Is he okay?" Erica wondered. "I don't know," Daniel replied. "He ended his shift and walked back to the training compound, but I haven't seen him since." "Where's my mom and dad?" Vince wondered. "I haven't seen them," Erica replied. "Me either," Star concurred. "They have to be around somewhere," Vince said, getting up from his chair. "I'm done anyway. I'm going to see if I can find them." "Dang, baby, did you inhale that bowl?" Erica wondered. "Guess my strength is coming back," he said, flexing a little for her. Erica smiled back with raised eyebrows. "I guess so," she commented. "Really, guys?" Daniel teased them. Star laughed at him. She was used to her parents' flirtatious antics. "What's up with that guy, Mom?" Daniel asked, indicating Sergeant Hensley, who was vigilantly watching Erica and anyone who approached her. "He's there to guard me," Erica informed the boy. "Why?" Daniel asked. "Because it makes Lieutenant General Merkley happy," Erica responded. Star smiled at her mom's joke. "You are getting older, Mom. Probably not a bad idea," Star teased. "Really? You're going to go there?" Erica asked, laughing at her. "Yep, you're slowing down," Star laughed. "We'll see about that," Erica told her. "So, you got your eye on anyone?" "Don't go changing the subject," Star continued the banner. "Staff Sergeant Case, there you are," a voice called from the door. "Kyle, where have you been all day?" Erica wondered. "I went out to the edge of the Ogallala Lake. There was a messenger coming in from Dallas, Kyle told her. There was a second message for you, he said, handing her an envelope. Thanks, Kyle, Erica replied. No problem, Staff Sergeant. I heard you got in the ring with Sergeant Bennett, Kyle teased. How'd that go? Good, she answered simply. He eyeballed her carefully. I gotta go get some food. I'll be right back, Kyle replied, heading off toward the food line. You met him in Texas? Star asked, watching him go. Yeah, we helped the people in the hospital together, and he wanted to come with us when we left, Erica told her. Why didn't he? Star wondered. Bennett pulled us out, and then Albuquerque was bombed, Erica informed her. He's pretty cute. Nice, strong, muscular body, and tall enough to match my height. His eyes are kind and that long, sandy brown hair. Handsome man, Star said with her eyes on him. Kyle? Erica asked. You're too smart for him. But he is cute. I do have to admit it. Oh, come on, Jen. I'm sitting right here, Daniel interjected, disgusted by his sister's dissection of the man. What about you, little man? You kissed a girl yet? Star inquired. Daniel blushed bright red. Jen, I'm not talking about that here. It's private, Daniel replied. That means you have. Come on and tell us, Danny, Erica prodded. Mom, he said with attitude. See what you started, Jen, Daniel complained. I'm sorry, Danny. We were just teasing. It is your private business, Erica defended her son. Erica finished eating and took her plate back to the wash station. She was curious about the note in her hand, but wanted a moment alone to look at it. Returning to the table, Erica announced, I'm headed back to the tent to see how my mom is settling in. I'll be right behind you, Mom. I gotta grab my gym clothes. But I do have some odds and ends to finish up here first, Star replied. What are your plans? Kyle asked Erica. I'm not sure. I may head over to the gym with Jen, Erica replied. I wanted to do some weightlifting, but Bennett had other plans for this afternoon. Sounds good. I need to get some shut-eye. But I was thinking of heading into town later. One of the refugee bands is pretty good, and I'd like to check it out, Kyle told her. I don't know if I'd be up to it, but maybe, Erica said. All work and no play makes Staff Sergeant a dull girl, Kyle jested. Let's see how it goes. I'll catch up with you later, Erica told him. Staff Sergeant Case, Sergeant Hensley greeted her formally as she approached him at the door. Erica returned his salute and walked towards the tent with the man in tow. She slid the note from her pocket and slowly unfolded the paper. Erica, I heard you're in my hometown. Please stay there until my return. Not sure of our ETA. The Duncan family sends their love and wants you to know they are safe in Dallas. I can't share too many details, but I have critical information for you. Heads up, my brother is there and may not look fondly upon your presence. Cassidy. She carefully folded the paper and returned it to her pocket. The note only piqued her curiosity even more. She was glad to hear that Harold and his family were safe, but unsure what critical information Cassidy possessed that she wouldn't share with the commanding officers. The news of her brother also concerned her. At least her current alias would hide her from that reality for a while. Hi, Mom, Erica greeted Nancy as she approached the tent. Hello, Nancy returned her response cheerfully. What's up? Nothing, I just got back from lunch, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with the rest of my day. I'm doing the same. The laundry is clean and everything is in order. Any news on Greg and Penny? Nancy wondered curiously. Not yet, but they should arrive soon. Lieutenant Colonel Burgess assured me they were en route, Erica replied. That's good. I can't believe Bennett pulled us out, and not them, Nancy responded. And who is this gentleman following you around? Sergeant Hensley, ma'am, he introduced himself. I've been assigned to protect Staff Sergeant Case. Erica's back was to the sergeant, so he couldn't see her rolling her eyes at her mom. Nancy smirked at her daughter's antics. What's your plans for tonight? Erica queried, heading into the stuffy tent to do a weapons check. Are you going to clean those guns again? Nancy asked. No, Erica replied defensively. I was going to sharpen my knives. You need a hobby, Nancy teased her. I have one. Maintaining the weapons that have kept us alive, Erica replied cockily. Well, I met a gentleman at the laundry today, Nancy declared with a sparkle in her eye. Really? Erica replied, pausing her activities. Yes, and he invited me to the concert in town tonight, Nancy told her. Well, look at you, getting asked out on a date and dancing nonetheless, Erica responded jovially, laying out her knives on the table. You going to go? I don't know. I miss Brett, she replied. What do you think? You should go. We've been through enough doom and gloom. You should live a little, Erica told her, picking up a knife. She dabbed a small amount of oil on a stone and began running the knife across it. Look who's talking, Nancy told her. Vince is feeling better. Why don't you guys come with us? We'll see, Erica replied, dismissing her suggestion. Erica, Nancy said sternly, pausing for her daughter to look up at her. What, Mom? Erica responded, looking into her eyes. You can't go on like this, Nancy urged her. Like what? Erica asked. Floating from battle to battle with nothing but training and weapons maintenance in between, Nancy explained. This is my life, Mom. These are the cards I've been dealt. I'm the lone survivor of Sacramento, remember? The hope of the free people, the savior of the refugees. Erica pushed back. Sergeant Bennett said I'm doing perfectly. This is life. Sergeant Bennett doesn't know anything other than training and fighting. He's too full of himself to even take a moment to see that you're on a downhill slide. It's not healthy, Nancy told her. Just then, Star entered the tent. She immediately sensed the tension in the air. What's going on in here, ladies? Erica changed the subject. Grandma was just telling me about a man she met today. They're going to the concert tonight, Erica explained, glaring at her mother. Way to go, Grandma, Star elated. I think I'm headed over there myself. Erica shot her a sideways look. After I go train, of course, Star added. Relieved, Erica returned to watching the knife slide across the stone. Nancy rolled her eyes at the interaction. I was trying to get Erica to come too, Nancy interjected. You should, Star agreed. It would be fun. What would be fun? Vince asked, entering the tent. Going to the concert tonight, Star informed him cheerfully. You up to it? I'm going to need a nap first, but it sounds like a cool idea to me, Vince replied to Erica's dismay. What do you think, baby? He queried, approaching Erica and giving her a kiss. I was going to just chill tonight, but if you want to go, I guess we could, Erica told him. Great, then I'll tell Walter it's a go, Nancy said. Who's Walter? Vince wondered. A gentleman I met at the laundry. I wasn't sure about going with him, but if everyone else is, I'm game, Nancy told him. Did you find your parents? Erica asked Vince, changing the subject. Yeah, Dad's over at the medical center and Mom's over at the school. They're doing fine. Busy. I told Dad he better make time for food, Vince explained. Good luck with that. He's as stubborn as the day is long, Erica replied, laughing a little. She started packing her knives back up. Thinking of his parents kept reminding her of the argument they didn't finish over why Vince and Erica were still fighting for the resistance. Erica shoved her knives forcefully into her pack, consumed with her thoughts. Star noticed her mom's frustration, but figured if she needed to talk about it, she would eventually. Nancy left to go get some lunch and meet with Walter. Vince, oblivious to Erica's upset mood, lay down to take a nap. Erica left with Star, headed for the gym with Sergeant Hensley in tow. Reaching the gate, they entered the building and headed down the bright hallway. They were met by Lieutenant General Merkley exiting the building. Staff Sergeant Case, how we doing? He asked. She saluted him stiffly and replied, Good, sir. I received a favorable report from Master Gunnery Sergeant Nicholton today regarding your performance. Glad you're settling in, he told her. Thank you, sir, Erica responded. And is this your daughter, he wondered. Yes, sir, she replied. My daughter, Jenny Case. Nice to meet you, ma'am, he greeted her. Very nice to meet you, sir, she returned his gesture. Don't let me keep you from your workout, he replied, indicating they were free to go. They headed off to the gym and started stacking the weights on the squat bar. Warming up with a light weight, Erica noticed a group of locals were there training as well. There were 4 men, each with beards and mustaches. The older of the 4 sported gray hair and stood coaching the other 3 in the ring. 2 of the men wore their hair long, and one of them had his shirt off. On his shoulder was a tattoo of a godlike man with a hammer. The men were practicing takedowns. Erica watched them as she and Star took turns on the bar and the weight increased. Geez, what are those guys laughing about? Star wondered, commenting on the ruckus they were making. I don't know, but it looks entertaining, Erica replied. They look pretty darn cute, too, Star suggested. I don't care about all that, Erica confessed. It's just been a long time since I laughed like that. I know, Mom, Star told her. That's why it may be fun to go to the concert tonight. Take a break from all this. Maybe you're right, Erica admitted. Erica's total focus has become just training and battle, just getting ready for the next battle, and then the battle we're going through, and then getting ready for the next battle, and the battle we're going through. And it's kind of difficult to believe it would be much different than that in a survival situation. You know, there's going to be risk all around you and just challenges at every corner. So that's really why I wrote it that way, and that's pretty much what everybody's facing. So and would be at that time. When Erica returns home to the tent, she doesn't really know what to do, so she grabs all her knives. She's going to sharpen them up. Something I love to do as well. When I first started into my survival adventure and stuff like that, just kind of a missing part for me was knife sharpening, because I always was with a lot of men who would just do it for me. And so, you know, I had never actually learned myself how to do this. So it was a learning curve for me at that point. And finally did teach myself how to do it. But I wanted to have James on the show to talk about it, because it's just such an essential part, such an essential tool. Now, James needs no introduction on my show. He's a veteran of 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. He began his survival training at the age of 7 when he was stranded in the Mojave Desert for 7 hours without food or water during a family move. I still think that story is just crazy. Since then, he's been through the scouting program where he attained Life Scout, served as Scoutmaster, Assistant Scoutmaster, Venture Advisor, and earned the Baden-Powell Award. An avid outdoorsman, he's winter camped in Utah, northern Quebec, Canada, snowshoed in upstate New York, Utah, and Quebec, and camped in the Mojave Desert of California, the Utah Mountains of Utah, and the piney woods of East Texas, among numerous other locations. James has traveled and been through 42 of the 50 states in the U.S., 3 provinces of Canada, sailed the Pacific Ocean, and crossed the equator in 35 countries from the jungles of South America to the Himalayas of Nepal. Having earned an Associate's Photography degree from the Houston Community College, he has beautifully captured many of his travels with his camera. Now retired from a career with the Trinity River Authority of Texas, James resides in Dallas, Texas, where he lectures on wilderness and survival training. He is the author of SWET, Survival and Wilderness Experience Training, Urban and Wilderness Emergency Planning, 35 other booklets on wilderness training, monthly articles for Survival Life magazine, and a column and articles for the Garland Messenger newspaper. James also does workshops and speaking engagements. If you would like to learn more information about James, head on over to www.heartsurvival.com. That's www.heartsurvival.com. Like I said in the intro, James has been with me since the very beginning of my author adventure. And ironically enough, we didn't even meet because of survival information or wilderness training or any of that. We both had books that we wrote, and we were figuring out how to go about, getting distribution lines and things like that. And we both took this class together. And that's where we met each other and really just hit it off, because we were both into training the same wilderness survival techniques and things like that. So, it's kind of ironic how life comes at you like that. The Lord works in mysterious ways and presents people at the right time, right when you need them. So let's go ahead and welcome James to our show. Today, I am here with my family man, James Hart, getting ready to enjoy a lot more days with James. So that'll be awesome. That's news that I'm not sharing yet. So nobody heard that line. So James, welcome to the show. Why don't you go ahead? I mean, you've been with me since the start, so I don't think you even need an introduction, but you got some new website activity going on and stuff like that. So let's talk about the new news.
Yeah, we've still got the old website. We're going to keep it, and I've transferred a lot of the information from it to the new website, which is heartsurvival.com, and we are going to get rid of our store. We're not going to be selling any supplies or anything. It hasn't done very good. We haven't really promoted it that much, but we really don't have time for it.
Right.
If any of our followers do look for supplies or anything like that, we can get them to you, and we can get them to you for a pretty good price. Generally lower than what you can get them for in the store. But the thing is, the shipping brings it
right.
Where, if you order just 1 or 2 things, you're just will go buy them at the store. So we're getting rid of the store. If you need a or want a bug out bag, we can get you that for a real good price. I just sold one to a lady down in Brazoria, Texas.
Okay.
It was complete. It was very similar to the one I have, and all of the products in it were of very good quality, and it'll last her a lifetime, really. And she only paid $800 for it.
Okay.
And like I say, it was very good quality. Very, very good quality.
Yeah, you're just
So,
focusing on the training now, right?
right. I'm focusing on the training, and again, my books. I'm going to be trying to get my fourth book out
Sweet.
this coming year, which is an update of the last book, and my seminars, and that's basically what I'm going to be focusing on.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully we'll have some new opportunities for people to get extra training here in the future, but we'll see what kind of a timeline we have on that one. Because I'd love to come down and do training with you. That'd be spectacular. I'm always looking forward to that. So
Another thing
go
I'm
ahead.
doing is I'm making my own 20-foot teepee.
Oh, nice.
Based on the Sioux teepee, and I'm making it on the with those silver waterproof tarps.
Okay.
And we tried this out in Fort Griffin just to, see how it was going to go without sewing the tarps together and gluing them together and stuff like this. And it went really well. We didn't have any rain or anything like that, but we just overlapped them and made the frame and things like that. And it went very well, very well. So we're gonna do it this coming spring and make a 20-foot teepee. And I've always made teepees out in the outdoors. I winter camped with a teepee made out of construction plastic, and it was real good. It worked real good. We was in 8 feet of snow, and before it was over, I had 6 scouts sleeping in it with me.
Right.
They didn't even pinch the pitch. So,
Yeah, we're still talking about when we were shooting bows out there. James comes up, grabs the junior bow. Man, it was like a 45, 50-foot shot with the junior bow and just sticks the arrow right in the tree. That was just epic, I'm telling you. Like, I'm surprised that little bow didn't even snap. It was just perfect.
well, I've been in the outdoors all my life. I've used bows and slingshots and everything else. And,
Just don't know what that little thing can do till you do it, I guess. I've always been like, oh, I'm going to break this thing. James like, boom! That was awesome. That was epic. Alrighty, James. Well, today we're talking about knives. Important topic, because a lot of people, they all have their knives. They all have their cool knives. They have no idea how to put a sharp edge on this thing. And I myself, I grew up with my father, and we did a lot of fishing in Michigan, fishing the Great Lakes. So having a quality fillet knife that had a super edge on it was just, of utmost importance. But it seems like Grandpa and Dad never took me aside and was like, "This is how you do it," Like, I don't know what happened there. It was a flaw. Maybe they liked putting the edge on it so much themselves, they just never shared that. So I was like, okay. I finally had to get together with one of my survival instructors and be like, humble myself and be like, all right, I have no idea how to put an edge on a knife. Can you please show me the proper way to do it? So I thought it was important to have you on today so we can discuss and share with everybody how we do a knife edge in the proper way. So is there a difference between a knife that you're going to use like when you're out in the bush compared to your kitchen knife? Are you going to put a different type of edge on those things, or is that even a thought?
Well, there is a slight difference in the edge. It's about a 5-degree difference in the edge.
Okay.
Your kitchen knife has to be, if you'll notice, your kitchen knives are thinner than your bush knives. The reason for that is your bush knife has to take a lot more damage and handle than your kitchen knives do. Your kitchen knives are made for slicing and cutting and dicing and things like that. Your bush knife, you chop with it a lot more than you do with your kitchen knives, and that's why they're thicker than your kitchen knives are. And at the same time, you still need to slice with them. So if you put the same edge on them as a kitchen knife, it's going to bend over right there at the tip of your edge. If you look down your knife, you'll see a V right where you're sharpening it. And right at the edge of that V, it's going to bend over, it's going to chip, it's going to, if you put a very fine edge on it. So going in degrees of that bevel, okay, a kitchen knife, you can get it down to 20 degrees, or right around there is perfect edge for your paring and your cutting. And whereas your bush knife, you're going to want about 25 degree, 28 degree on that bevel. Anything less than that, you're going to be sharpening it a lot more because it's going to wear. And as you sharpen it, you want to sharpen both edges the same amount of time. I usually don't go more than 3 times on each side when I sharpen it.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Okay. 3 times away from you, 3 times towards you. And you go the full length of the blade from the hilt to the tip 3 times. And you make sure you have plenty of oil on it. That oil will keep from getting deep grooves as you go that length. And those grooves will take away from the edge. It'll actually cut ridges in that edge, so it's not a smooth edge.
So it protects your stone or protects the knife?
It protects both of them.
Okay.
Okay. If you sharpen your knives enough on that stone, you'll see where that stone, if you're not using enough oil, gets grooves in it.
Right.
And those grooves will chop your edge unevenly.
Got it. Okay.
So as you're sharpening your knives, you'll see that wear even on that stone, and that's what you need. If you get an uneven stone, you're not using enough oil, and you're not sharpening evenly on your knife.
Okay. Okay. What if you have like a chunk, basically out of the, just like a little, on a kitchen knife, you have a little chunk out of it, there's little missing spots from bone or whatever. You're still going evenly? You don't want to hit those areas like more than other areas?
No, you want to go evenly to get that out of there. And you go back to your coarse stone.
Right.
And work it out on both sides at the same time.
Okay, so even if there's that, you want to still just shave it all off down so that it gets rid of that tar in it. Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
And you don't have to do that all at once. You can just work it out of there over time if it's deep enough.
Okay.
Okay. I've had that happen on some of my bush knives. And you just work it out. You just work it out. Like on the tip of your knife. It's a
Right.
common breaking point.
Yep.
And you just work that tip from where it starts the turn all the way up to the tip and work it out.
Okay. Yeah, because we had some of the kitchen knives that are even like bent a little bit at the top.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
trying to, bend them back
Yeah.
through, we're just grinding them. And
Yeah.
that's difficult.
That's difficult. What I usually do is I take a hammer and I try to straighten it with a hammer, and then I work it with the stone.
That makes sense. Because then you're saving your stone.
Yeah,
Too.
you're saving your stone, and that bent will really dig in to your stone. So you want to get as much of that bend out of there as you can. Get it as flat as you can so it's not digging into that stone.
Okay. All right. So, what's your favorite method of doing this?
I just told you.
Right?
Three times one way, three times the other way, and you just keep working at it until you get it sharp. You feel it with your thumb, and you just keep working it until it's sharp. And there's times where it's been getting sharp, and then all of a sudden it'll be dull. And when that happens, it's because it's rolled over. And you just need to keep working,
and you can see that too when you look down it, right? You can see that actual.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And when it starts rolling over, you've either missed your angle and turned that blade just a little bit wrong, and you have to just take a breath and go back to it. It's
all over again.
Sharpening a knife is an art.
Yes, sir.
And you have to learn to be a craftsman to sharpen a knife and to sharpen it the same way every time to get that edge that you need. And you have to be careful that you have that angle all of the time. And don't get in a hurry. If you get in a hurry, you're not going to do it. It just takes patience. And unfortunately, a lot of people just don't have that patience. And they have to look at that knife as, that knife was made by a craftsman, okay? Look at every knife that way. I don't care if it's a factory-made knife or not, okay? It's an instrument. It's a tool. And it's something that, whether it could save your life or not, it might. You might need that knife to cut a seat belt, to start a fire, or whatever. Okay? And you need to look at it like that. And it's a tool that if you use it right, and if you sharpen it right, it's a piece of craftsmanship. And when you sharpen it right, and take care of it properly, then it is a craftsmanship, a piece of craftsmanship. And, honor that knife.
Yeah, you can feel it as you're sharpening it.
Yes.
It's like magic.
Yeah.
It is.
It becomes part of you, okay, because you sharpened that knife. You took care to do it right, to get it that sharp, okay? Take pride in that, okay? That's your knife. That's a piece of you because you sharpened it. You got it that sharp. Take pride in that, okay? I know. I've had people all my life, man, that's a sharp knife you got. Can you sharpen my knife? And I sharpened it for them, and 2 weeks later, they're back again. Hey, my knife needs sharpening. Well, fool,
what'd you
why
do
don't
to
you
it?
learn how to sharpen a knife?
Fair enough, yeah. Yeah.
So, I take pride in every knife I have is razor sharp. And
When
every night if
you
I have, I take pride in it.
when you are sharpening it, do you, cause like I showed you my setup before. I'll show
Yeah.
that. There we go. So my stones sit in this little holder and everything, got my oil and that, and it's the Arkansas Tri-Home that you love. So, would you rather have the stone down on the ground or you like having it in your hand? What?
I have it
You know.
on a solid surface. Yes, I do.
Yep. Okay.
That way, you're not changing the angle of the blade as you go across it. It's sitting stable and solid.
Okay.
Okay. That way, the only change is made is as you go across that surface, you have to hold your hand steady and solid
Right.
to keep that angle straight. And that's the only variable is you.
How do you feel about those little sharpeners they sell at the hardware store? They have like little things running through there.
They are good for a quick
Okay.
sharpening when you don't have time to spend to sharpen your knife. Okay. If you're out in the woods, okay, carry one in your pocket because they are good. They will get you a good sharp edge. But as soon as you get back, then use your Arkansas stones. Okay.
Okay.
I do have one of those that I carry with me. Okay. Because if you're field dressing say a deer or something like that, and you need just a quick touch up, they're good for that, and they will work. But you know, there's no art to it, and they don't hold your edge. Okay,
No,
your edge.
no, I wasn't happy with it. My husband was
No.
like, "Oh, I got one of these at the hardware store." I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
they're good. They're good in a survival situation. They're good in that they can give you a good quick blade, but they do not hold the blade. If you look at the angles on them, it's more for an axe. Okay, it's a wider V.
Yeah, it is.
It's a wider V. So there you go.
Okay, and then the oil was my other question because I'm like, well, who cares about the oil, right? And I know that you had said that it's really, really important. So I guess I need to use more of my oil. I'm always like thinking I'm cleaning my rifle or something.
Yeah.
So it's like the tiny, tiny bit of oil.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand like the purpose of the oil. I don't know that my dad ever used oil.
Well, some stones you don't need oil on, or some you do.
Okay.
The Arkansas stones, yes, you do need oil on them.
Okay.
Like it saves the stone, it saves your blade, it protects both of them.
So I should just be like smathering the oil on there?
I generally squirt oil, so I have a good 1/4 inch wide line of oil from one end of the stone to the other, about an inch in on each side.
Okay.
Each end, I mean, and about a 1/4 inch wide. And then I start my sharpening, and I make sure that it covers a good bit of the stone, and I, work it till it's a dark gray to a black, and then I'll wipe it off, and I'll put a new run of oil.
You wipe it off even? See, I just do the tiny little boop.
No.
More? Just
oh
down the
yeah,
whole
you
thing?
need a lot more than that.
All right.
But yes, I do wipe it off because the black is what you're taking off of the blade.
Right. Okay.
And
Right.
it will fill in the pores of the stone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not all filled in. It's all. And then I have even a little chip off the edge now because of that.
Yeah.
Well, I did with this one, with the fine one, I
Yeah.
did the whole, right?
Yeah.
Because it seemed to just fill in the pores faster on that side. I was like, I was going to use all my oil up on this side, so I didn't. I was
your course it's gonna suck it up.
Yes.
But,
I'm like, so I got like my little bottle, right?
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
I'm going to use the whole thing on just the one stone, but if it's worth it to do it right, you know?
right, right. Cover
Yeah.
the whole length of it. Okay,
Okay.
about a 1/4 inch wide, and run your run your blade. Okay, make sure your
Through that
blade
center mass.
through that center mass, and then
Okay.
start sharpening it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, a lot of people use leather straps, like when they're done. And,
Yeah.
I've had it explained to me, but why don't you go ahead and share your feeling on it and why would people do this?
Okay. Not too many people can use the leather strop to put the fine edge on the blade. Okay. Uh, some barbers still use them when they do shaves, stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, we've gone over to using ceramic rods now. I use a ceramic rod, and what that does, it's the final touch to the blade. And when you use either the strop or the ceramic rod, what you're doing is you're putting the final edge on that blade. You're getting rid of all of the fine ridges on it. You're getting rid of all the imperfections that is left by the stone.
Okay.
If you was to put it under a microscope, you could see scratches all along that edge. And these two items will just get rid of all of that. You'll have a glass smooth edge on that blade.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's almost, if you do it right and you do it long enough, it'll be like obsidian on that edge. And believe me, you can cut somebody or cut some meat or whatever, and it'll just, go through it so smooth
Yeah.
and so straight that you just end up smiling.
Yeah, my knife was so bad. I always buy like the big packages of meat, I can buy like huge New York strips, and then I cut them all myself. Well, I've been doing so much jujitsu and stuff, my grip strength just gets so worn out, my forearms and everything. So here I am like trying to cut through this meat, this crappy knife. Yeah, I'm like, screw it, go get my bush knife.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I take way better care of it than I do
Yep.
my,
That's
kitchen
right.
knives. So then I was like, all right, now I got to put the boy to work on the kitchen knives because I was like, these suck, dude. It's been 20 years.
I've cut tomatoes. I've cut tomatoes where you could see through them.
With that, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the kind of edge that these ceramic knives or these ceramic
The rods
will put on it. And that's why they're putting out these ceramic knives now, is because they can put such an edge on them.
I'm telling you, for canning tomatoes, man, I love my ceramic knife. You can just poop, 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 poop. And if you go to your hand, it doesn't like just cut through your hand, but man, it cuts those tomatoes so easily. You can just work them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I'm doing tomato canning, it's all about my ceramic knife.
Yep.
And then, an edge on the ceramic knife, same, on the little one that we bought from the hardware store, the little sharpener, it has like the ceramic rods on the other side. So I thought that was just like for the ceramic knife. But could you run the metal one through there too, or you should?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. It will put that edge on there. I'm telling you about. You'll end up grinning like a jackass eating Snickers when you use it.
All right.
It will put an edge on there that you just won't believe.
Nice. Okay. That brings so maybe his buy wasn't so bad, because I was like, Brock, this is crap. I don't even know why you bought this. He's like, well, our knives suck. I'm like, mine don't.
Yeah.
Maybe the kitchen ones do, but the ones I carry in my pocket don't.
Yeah. That's right.
So when people are injured using knives, is this usually because the knife is too sharp or too dull?
Well, usually it's because it's too dull and they're trying to use force and they lose control of their knife. Once again,
Respect, right? Respect the sharp
respect for the
tool.
knife, respect for how you're using it. And biggest problem I have is, the knife's too sharp. It's,
Like
people
glass.
get used to using dull knives, and then when they get a sharp one, Katie bar the door. They're going to the hospital.
You're right. Put on like those leather straps on your legs and crap.
Yeah.
You ain't used to using a sharp knife. You better learn real quick.
Yep.
All right. So my last question that I have for you is we have this axe and we use I will keep my language nice, but we use the heck out of this thing, man. And I put it through the wood, into stones, everything. I'm not nice to it. And, it's a mess now. So how do you begin with an axe head minus putting it back in the forge and just reworking the thing? How do you put an edge back on something like that?
Well,
It's not going on my stones, that's for sure.
yeah. You don't use a stone to put an edge on an axe.
Okay.
Okay. First off, most axes have a hardness to them that a knife doesn't.
All right.
And you have to use a file. Okay.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't think
And
about that.
I'm not cussing. I've been accused of cussing, but you use a bastard file. It's a type of file. And I use a number 12, I believe it is, 10 or 12 bastard file.
Okay.
Okay. And you put this axe on a solid surface.
Okay.
And you prop the edge of the axe up. And
Okay, so like clamp it up or something like that?
Clamp it up at an angle like this, okay?
Okay.
And then you take this file at a 30-degree angle, and you file this way. And you go along the whole edge, just like you do your knife, with the file, okay? And you'd run it maybe 10 times. And then you turn the axe over and do it 10 times.
Okay.
And you just keep working it, okay? And then you go down to a finer file when you get a good sharp edge on it. And you do it about 10 or 15 times on each edge. And then you've got a real sharp axe. Okay?
All right.
Now, I always carry a file in my backpack with my axe or hatchet.
Good call.
Okay, you use a file on both axe and hatchet.
Right.
And I've even used a file on my machete.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a nice thick blade.
It's a nice thick blade. And you're cutting small trees with a machete.
Right. Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, my bush knife that I just got is a real thick 1095 steel.
Yeah, you can use a file instead of the coarse stone.
If I were to really slam it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then go to your stones on your knife.
It takes duck heads off like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, yeah. Chicken heads, duck heads,
Yep.
squirrel heads.
Yep. That's a good little tool. I like it. I've been stoked with that knife. So, Alrighty, James. Well, that pretty much takes me through it. Do you think there's anything I'm missing that we should inform people about when it comes to keeping stuff sharp here?
My final word on this is all of your camp tools, all of your survival tools, okay, is works of craftsmen in the old days. They're works of manufacturers in today's environment. But once you buy them, they belong to you. You need to take care of them. You need to store them properly. And that means if you have to put a coating of oil on them to preserve them, keep them from rusting and corroding, do that. Okay?
Yeah.
Sharpen them properly. Keep them sharp. Use the proper sharpening instruments and tools such as stones, files, and take care of those as well. Do it properly.
On your axes, do you like oil the, obviously not with the same stone oil, but do you oil the handles too as well? Like down in Texas, it's pretty dry, right?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, but the rags that I use terry cloth.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. I generally wrap the heads in those, and
that's a good call.
I don't worry too much about the handles, but I keep them dry. I don't put them in a place that's going to dry them out, and I don't put them in a place they're going to get humidity to them, too much humidity.
And the handles are replaceable, I mean.
Well, yes, they are, unless they're fiberglass, but, you know, I keep them in a moderate temperature area, and away from water. So take care of your equipment. You know, when you're out there in the woods, they become part of you, and they need to be part of you. So take care of them. Take care of all of your.
Yeah, we grew up in the well, you know, my generation's like the disposable society, right? So it's like, whatever, just go buy a new one. Whatever, just go buy. Well, then when you finally buy that one that's like, man, I love this knife and I am going to protect it and love it forever. It's a special feeling. So I see where you're coming from with it.
I remember when I was in my teens, early teens, I had a knife that it had a bone handle on it. It had an elk stamped into the blade. It was a very, very good knife, and I loved that knife. It was 6-inch full tang knife, and unfortunately, when I left home, went into service, somebody didn't think enough of me or it. They got rid of it, and to this day, you know, I remember that knife, and I regret having lost that knife. You know, but you know, they become part of you. They actually become part of you if you take care of them and they're good knife. Yeah. So, you know, take care of your equipment.
Alrighty, why don't you go ahead and let people know one more time where they can find you for your website, because hopefully we'll get some training going on real quick. That's my hope. We'll see how long it takes.
It's www.heartsurvival.com, and from there you can message me or anything. There's a section on there where you can email me directly. So
sweet. Yeah, that's a great way to go. And I think I have all of your websites updated on my website as well. So if people don't understand it, they can just go over there and hit the links, and
right.
I've got it all paved out for them. Alrighty, James, thanks so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, James, so much for coming on the show today. Definitely love the advice about the axe and how to take care of all that, and how to properly use my stones there and do all that. So great information today. Really appreciate your time to come on the show and talk to us about how to properly maintain our knives. I want to thank all of my Patreon members for your contribution. If you would like to become a Patreon member, you can head on over to www.patreon.com/changingearth. And last week, I just loaded up some more bonus audio over there. And I'm really delved into book 6 and 7 right now, but I'm going to be issuing a new edition of the Las Vegas years too. I have one pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to be working on getting that out for all the Patreon members. So if you want to go get signed up and get access to the Las Vegas years, you can do that at www.patreon.com/changingearth. Thank you for listening. You guys, I hope that everybody's out there, staying fit, getting prepared, staying abreast of, what's happening with our planet, what's happening with our social environment. We got to stay aware of all those things, and it's just really important. So I really appreciate your time that you take out of your week, your day, to listen to the Changing Earth podcast. Until next time, remember, dream, survive, thrive.
Thank you for joining Sara for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster, Without Land, The Walls of Freedom, Battle for the South, and Dark Days in Denver at www.author.sarafhathaway.com. If you love Sara's books and this podcast, please head over to Amazon or iTunes and let everyone know by leaving a review.